the people of East Germany went into the church houses to speak about it and sing forbidden songs and make forbidden jokes and speak absolutely non-correct political talk and pray to a forbidden God. And then the wall was crumbling down and it was a peaceful revolution. What can a people do with the help of God when the doors of the churches are open at all times?
Do you think it was a work of God that the wall was fell down?
Of course, look at the people. They took refuge in all the church houses throughout the times. There they made the plan to do the Monday demonstration in the church. In the church they made the plan that they will get rid of the corrupt government. They made plans in the churches. They prayed together. And even the atheists, everybody was welcome. It was not a matter of who is a Christian and who's not. It was a matter of freedom. It's a human right to live in peace and freedom.
Is the sound on?
With God's help, of course, with God's help, things really change and to the better. It's true. The more people get together and ask for help, but most of the people, Jesus said, nobody ever has asked for help in my name. Why don't you do it? Take it to the test.
Are you here on a mission in Umeå with your personal Jesus?
Well, I was always on a mission. In the 80s, I sang the Lord's Prayer in the Zabel dance version, a Russian version. I sang the Ave Maria, I sang Spirit in the Sky. I started singing gospel songs in the 90s in Paris on Jim Morrison's grave at the beautiful cemetery Père Lachaise. We made a music video for Hold Me. That was my first gospel music video. And I had the telephone on Jim Morrison's grave, and it was ringing. And an angel, the father of my son, Frank, Angel Frank, picked up the telephone. Hello. And somebody was asking for Nina Hagen, and the angel said, "Is there anybody called Nina Hagen?" And I said, "Me. Nina Hagen." And then I took the telephone, and on the telephone there was Mahalia Jackson from the Homeland of the Soul, because she was already, she died already, so, like Jim Morrison. And it was not Jim on the phone, no, he put Mahalia on, because Mahalia had a message for me, and Mahalia told me that I have to sing the gospel, because she knows I love the gospel. And so she told me to sing the gospel in the music video on the telephone.
When was that?
That was 1989 in Paris. And we did Hold Me, a beautiful Mahalia Jackson gospel song I sang back then. And so you can see that even on my first English language album, Non-Sex Monk Rock, 1981, I sing Born in 6X. I was born in 6X. I believe in Jesus. I preach it loud and strong. Laut und stark. I sang laut und stark, which is Deutsch. And I cited something from the Bible. I quoted something from the Bible in the song Anti-World, where I describe some psychopath scientist working on some Teilchenbeschleuniger, atomic black hole collider, working basically against the safety of creation. And so in this song I quote the Bible. So I come a long way with being a Christian singer-songwriter, basically, you can say that. But of course, in the 90s, I went to India, and I met a guru. And the guru told me, I am working hand in hand with Jesus Christ for the liberation of humankind. And I said, that sounds good to me. You love Jesus? Oh, yes. We celebrate Christmas every Christmas at the ashram. And I said, oh, that's great. Let me meet the children. And then I met the children in the village. And we wrote a theater piece about Jesus' life and Jesus' birth and Jesus' mission. And I was the only grown-up person in the theater play. The cast was all children, Mother Mary, all the angels. And only Jesus was another grown-up person, a beautiful Bulgarian man with long hair. And anyways, I played the evil dictator, coming to provoke everybody with my atomic bomb. And I had this big gummy ball, rubber ball, blown up where an angel can jump on. And then in the end of the piece, I couldn't, because I wanted to kidnap Jesus, that he works on my side, like George Bush kind of thing. George Bush was always praying to Jesus, and he said he's talking to Jesus in his office, in the Oval Office, and Jesus tells him where to start a war and when and whatnot. And I think George Bush is a liar. He cannot be a Christian because in our Bible, it is written in the Old and in the New Testament, thou shalt not kill. It has been said, Moses in the Ten Commandments of the Jewish people, thou shalt not kill, and in the Christian New Testament again.
But I must ask you, why did you get baptized in 2009? Because, and I mean, why was that? Why did you? Why was it so
Because
naughty?
I was a member of a Hindu sect. I was a devotee of a guru called Babaji. And I, even though I sang gospels in the ashram and I did the Christmas thing with the children and played the evil dictator and did my part there, I still told everybody I'm a Christian. From the beginning on, I told this guru guy, I'm a Christian. And he said, we are all Christians. That's what he told me. And you see, it's a very clever system of luring somebody into your occult magic sect where they, in the hot summertime, when I was never there, they did bloody animal sacrifices for their God. But in my Bible, God don't want no stupid bloody sacrifices. And so I didn't know that for a long time. And the day came where I really understood that my guru was a liar. From the beginning on, he's just really lying and embracing Jesus just to have me believe in his occult magic, bloody ritual stuff. And I was there from 1993, every other 2 years or so, for a couple of weeks, sometimes months, in this ashram. And sometimes I got very sick. I got so sick, and I only weighed 45 kilograms because I got the amoebas and the parasites and the diarrhea, and I nearly died, but as you can see, I didn't. And then came the day when I said, I have to distance myself from this guru. I am not your disciple. I have looked through you. I said, I have understood now that this Shiva guy is an apocalyptic devil, so to speak. There's some of his devotees, they go to the radioactive sites where the Indians used to have atomic bomb testings in the 60s, and they collected the radioactive sand and they put it in their home shrines to worship the sand as something of God Shiva, because Shiva wants to destroy this world through a Sintbrand. That means atomic burnout. And this is crazy. This is psychopath. This is just another group of apocalyptic people who I don't want to be part of, and I didn't know better before, because and then I got baptized because I needed also for myself to show God. I want to belong to God and not to some pseudo God who just claims to be God.
But I think
It's the opposite, actually.
many people who know about Nina Hagen from the 70s, the 80s, maybe they don't associate you with Christianity and more, you know.
The people who come to my concerts, they did follow my music throughout the centuries. And as I told you, I've sung the Lord's Prayer in German language, das Vater Unser, and in English on my albums in ecstasy. That was in the middle of the 80s. I sang Spirit in the Sky, Ave Maria, and then I started with the gospel songs in the late 80s. So my fans know also from the times of Born in Zigzags, where I was on the cover as an icon, like a religious icon with my baby Cosma. And I did that for my love for Christianity. That's why I did the album of Non-Sex Monk Rock in 1981, like, like a Holy Mother. And guess what? Jesus calls us. He calls us his friends, and he even calls us his mothers, his sisters, and brothers. And because in the Bible there was a story where Jesus' mother, Mary, was there with Jesus' brothers. Jesus had brothers. Mary had other children also. And they wanted to speak to him. And Jesus said, no, I can't. I'm busy. And then he said, tell them, and also you all can hear it. Everybody should hear it. You are my mothers and my sisters and my brothers. Everybody who loves me is my mother and my brother and my sister. Isn't that great?
So, what are you going to sing tomorrow?
So I am with Jesus forever. When you read my book, which will come out in Swedish language in September, you will find that during my childhood, I was already secretly going into the church, and my parents didn't know.
Can I ask you later?
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
tell? Yeah, because about your childhood. Could you tell me just some about tomorrow? What you're going to sing?
Yeah, I sing things from all my life. Some amazing songs, some anti-war songs, some peace songs, some an ABBA song I translated into German language. I have my new album, the gospel album, with me, but I also have old songs where I sing Atomic Flash Deluxe against this atomic bomb scare. We all live on this beautiful planet. I have very strong love songs which describe the love we all share. Songs to protect nature, songs to protect the animals, songs to protect the human beings, songs to protect creation. We have lots of many different kind of songs, political songs and spiritual songs, both.
I also must ask: do you have any impression of Umeå, where you are now?
Well, I came flying in and I could see that there's a lot of ocean, little islands all around. Must be beautiful to go out there. And here in the little city, I see that you guys did in the 60s. You ripped down all the ancient buildings and then you started building new buildings, but we still have the old train station building there, and there's another old train station building over there, which look very cute. And then you have this very old kind of, no, it's not Rococo, it's kind of Backstein, Baroque, Gothic, no, not Gothic. It's this big red church building you have also. It's kind of ancient, I would say 18th century.
Ja, 19th. Ja, 1800, 1900, also 19. Jahrhundert. Ende, glaube ich.
Oh,
Ja, ich glaube Ende. Ja. Also ich weiß nicht, eigentlich. Ich sollte das wissen. Es ist so, viele Kirchen sehen so aus
Ja.
in Schweden, ja? Mhm. Äh, Moment. Ähm, also ABBA.
Abba is also the name of the Heavenly Father in heaven. I mean, of God. Do you know that Jesus said we can call God also Abba? Yes, Abba, Father.
So how do you translate ABBA?
Yeah.
How do you and what do have you talked
No,
to
never,
ABBA
never.
about your translations?
No, not yet.
So how are they? Can you sing some?
Ja, möchtest du dich selbst verstehen, aus dem Haus der Herkunft gehen? Jeder will erst andere befreien. Doch dieser Weg, er macht dich klein. Du musst doch der Erste sein. Ganz egal, ob arm, ob reich. Wir sind nicht erst am Ende gleich. Ich bin du, wenn du, oder wie du. I'm not sure how I gonna sing it. I am you or I am like you. Ich bin wie du, wenn du mich siehst, schaust du dir selber zu. So wie du wart ich auf die Sonne nach der Nacht. So wie du bin ich aus Fleisch und Blut gemacht. And then comes the second verse und so weiter und so fort. Wir wollen ja die Leute nicht verkaufen.
Like an angel passing through my room auf Deutsch. Ja, wunderschön.
I always like to make a translation more like a Übertragung, more like a interpretation, not a translation, more interpretation, how I receive a song when it hits me. I did this with Lene Lovitch in late 70s when I translated her super hit Lucky Number One into German language, and it had nothing to do with the original text, lyrics. It was something different, and it came to me, and wir leben immer noch, still alive.
And Sarah Leander, what?
Yeah.
Do you still have a relation with her?
I even had a dream. She came in a dream to me, but that's many years ago. During the time when I was pregnant with Otis, actually during my pregnancy, I had amazing dreams also with Jesus where I asked God some questions and I could get some answers, some personal questions. It was at the time. Very interesting. Just wanted to say that pregnant women are great prophets. And so, what was the question?
Sarah Leander.
Yeah, Sarah. She came in my dream also during this pregnancy, and she said, she needs my help. And I said, my pleasure. I never thought I gonna see you. And she was so sweet and young looking. And she needed to go to some institute which probably was more in this world than her, where she is now. So I needed to go with her. And we went into this building, and there was photographs. photographs, and boxes with photographs. And like old, schöne Schatztruhen with photographs. Photos. And she said, oh, there they are. And she found her photos, and she was happy going through what she needed to find. And me, I found a box with photos which I never thought they exist. Like some photos with my dad and me swimming.
Real photos?
In the dream, it was a dream. I was
Yeah. Okay,
pregnant.
so yeah.
Yeah.
But then
in the dream and real photos and the photos. And then I thought, oh my God, I should be with Sarah Leander now and spend some time with her. But no, it's so interesting what's happening. And I went through my photos, and she was happy, and she thanked me that I brought her into this building there. Funny dream, huh? But it was so real. And I was looking through pictures, and she was happy looking through, probably had the same experience than I did, that she found photos that don't even exist. But they exist in this world where I had the dream, obviously. And so I met Sarah again. Yeah. And we were looking through pictures.
Did you ever meet her for real?
No, no, never. I mean, I was a child of East Germany, and I don't know if she ever came singing in East Germany. I don't even think so. I think she toured West Germany and West Berlin, but I don't even know if she ever was in East Berlin. Mahalia Jackson was in East Berlin. But I was too small. I only know her from the vinyl, from my mom's vinyl collection. That's where I heard my first music, from my mother's vinyls.
Your mother was a big star in the DDR.
Huge. Yeah. And the most beautiful woman you can imagine. And my father was the most wonderful and funny, courageous anti-fascist. He was a scriptwriter. He wrote the first East German after-war comedy, and it was so sweet and funny, and with the black market and the Russians and the Americans and the East Germans and so. And then they wanted to kick him out of the party because he became a little bit too funny for their taste. And so also my father had then to work under a pseudonym, incognito, because he was also getting in trouble with the regime. Because in the beginning, my parents, this generation who survived the Holocaust, the Second World War, and my father was half Jewish, and he was incarcerated by the Nazis, and he had to suffer ugly torture. And my grandfather, his father, was killed in the concentration camp, and he was trying to hide, and there was no help for my grandfather. The Nazis catched him, and he wanted to help some friends, but he got caught and killed, and God knows, maybe he also got tortured. We don't know that, but long story short, I forgot your question. Where were we? The parents.
Yeah, your famous parents.
Yeah, my amazing parents.
Yeah.
Who made me who I am, who gave me all the love, and even though they were atheists, they could not believe in a God because they experienced only trauma in their childhood. My mom also. During the war, this generation, they were hungry and traumas.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so I'm a child of people who just came out of this horrible mess, and they had such big hope that the new Germany would become a free country, and the people free spirited, the people can speak free speech. But it turned out that it was not the case. Yeah.
What do you think? Do you ever, like, you when you read about East German? I mean, do you ever feel like nostalgia about East Germany? Do you miss things there?
No, you don't miss things from the past because it's all part of life, and it's all part of who you are. I still have the same cozy feeling I had as a child, the staring on my window, the beautiful patterns of the gardine, how it looked like, and everything. I'm not Alzheimerish, so I have it all in me.
Yeah.
And I still write. When I'm writing songs, it's about whatever. You'll hear soon. We're working on my new album. That's why, because there's so much in there from all my life again, and new music and in German language again. Oh my God.
Yeah, I heard. And how do you how do you when you I mean compose? How do you do it? Is it? Can you explain?
Well, for example, sometimes I don't compose. Sometimes I sit and translate something, like "None of Us Are Free" from Solomon Burke, or Larry Norman, "Why Should the Devil Have All the Good Music?" So I translate that stuff into German language, and it's rock music, it's funk, gospel. Uh, but of course, I wrote also new songs, and it's some of the songs I wrote together with my band leader, Warner, my guitar player, and he had the music, and I said, "Oh, I like that," and then comes the song and the lyrics. Um, yeah, I'm so full with knowledge and information, the daily political life, the daily news. I have it all. What I'm standing for, what I'm fighting for. So this is all comes all into my lyrics, and then the work starts with finding nice rhymes, but it's the spirit. I told the guy before you already, we're not only flesh and blood, we are spirits. We Geistwesen. We have a spirit. Every animal has a spirit too, even the ugly birds. I love them so much because nobody does. The crane, everybody says, "Nah, don't give them food, they're ugly." No, they're beautiful. One day you realize, oh, when we're not in this world anymore and we're going to be in the next world, we say, "Oh, those crane, they were so cute, and we were so mean." Or the poor people, they were so cute and we were so mean. Like this morning, there was a guy who came and asked for a little bit money or for a cigarette. And so, there were some people who said, "Nah, I don't want to see this." And so, I said, "Hey, give some. What is wrong with you people? One day you wake up and then it's too late." And then he said, "Oh, I was mean to this person, I was mean to that person. Why was I so mean? Just because I was a grumpy jerk?" Yeah. So it's fun to share. There are many people are driving with a bicycle here on Umeå.
Yeah, all winter. Or even in winter when it's snow.
Are so healthy.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
you
it's
have the best
skiing.
air.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's very good air. And then it's tonight it's gonna be light like this, very long.
Oh
You can't.
my
Yeah,
lord!
you won't be able to sleep.
Holy Moses!
It's like being on drugs or something.
Yeah,
It
cool.
is actually. And in winter it's so dark, you get
Oh,
depressed.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, why don't you go to Cuba in the winter?
well, I have my
Well, or to
job.
Venezuela.
Yeah.
They could use some nice some Swedish money.
Yeah, well, I'm not that rich.
I think the Swedish kronas you would live for months on very little kronas. We're here because Venezuela and those beautiful countries back there, they're not so expensive.
I know. I know.
And they're happy to make friends. And then maybe they become
Mhm. Mhm.
more open to democracy and more.
Yeah. True.
And the Cuban music is so cool. I was never in Cuba yet.
No.
Maybe one day.
Would you like to go?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, countries I was not in South Africa yet, I was not in Australia yet, I was not in New Zealand yet. Let's see what life will give, what God will give me more, more to explore. I'm very thankful for what I have explored so far already. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my old dream when I was still behind the Iron Curtain in East Germany. I was always dreaming of seeing the whole world. I want to be free and see different countries and learn about their history and their culture.
Do you still want that?
Yeah, sure. And me as a musician, I'm very lucky. It's a profession which carries me around the world very nicely. And I already told journalists in the early 80s that Jesus is my manager. And back then, my record company, it was CBS back then, and my American manager didn't think that's funny. But I didn't say because it's funny, I said because it's the truth. If the truth is funny, even the better. But you can read that in the Bible that we call Jesus the author of our life, and it's also said without Christ there would be no life as it is. Or you think the bad guy, only through the bad guy we would have life? The evil one? The murderer, the pedophile, the liar from beginning on, the satanic guy, the sadomaso guy? No, not that one. I don't like that one.
But what do you say?
Too.
But if I don't believe in Jesus?
See that in this world. This world is not just like Pippi Longstocking and Nina Hagen, happy people. No, this world is a mean old world, as the old Negro spirituals are telling us, because it was the black American slaves who listened secretly at the church houses of the white master folks, and they listened to the groovy message of Jesus Christ that we're free people, everybody, forever. And then they went back to work and they started singing this beautiful message of love and freedom, the gospel. And that's where the great rock and roll music comes from, and the blues and the soul and the funk. It all comes from the old black American people who started this. And then came all the white folks and said, oh, thank God for our black brothers, because our language needs music. Our language actually is music. When you listen to Swedish language and you don't speak Swedish, it sounds like music. Every language sounds like music, especially the stewardess. I didn't record it. It was so funny because we went up and down in Swedish. It was beautiful. So you see, it's already music, and God is music. Telling you, you think God is sitting there grumpy and saying me? No. God creates life through music. God is a master singer, if you haven't known that yet. And that's why we should all sing. Everybody should sing. Because you know what happens when we sing? Something happens and we become so alive and so healthy, because singing is actually very healthy.
I sing in a choir.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's like the best.
I'm a tenor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, echt.
Singing in a choir and together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe since we are made in the image of our Creator, our Father and Mother, our God, and you too, and He gave me a cling. And I must call my son and ask him if it's okay if I may cling to people in my son's age. Well, okay. Where were we?
God is music.
Yeah, God is music, man. Oh, man, you can hear that. I mean, just imagine what groovy music comes out of the Dixie Hummingbirds, or what groovy music comes out of the Beatles, or Nick Drake, or what beautiful music comes out of Janis Joplin, uh, or Rosetta Tharpe, or Elvis Presley, or Liszt, Brahms, Beethoven, you name it. And now imagine our creator. Oh, my God, it must be so groovy. One day we'll all get there, don't worry. Don't you worry. We're all gonna get there. This is what life is for. It's a preparation for what comes after.